Crispus Attucks women's soccer team celebrates their historic season after going undefeated in their first season ever as a team. Crispus Attucks High School opened their doors in 1920 to the underprivileged minority population of Indianapolis. They built a community that focused on development and education to give each of their students, 9th through 12th grade, an opportunity to graduate and go to college. They became known for their successful men's basketball team, but as they grew, one thing was missing: a focus on women in sports. Sophomore Valerie Medina and her teammates set out to change that. Valerie gets out of bed each morning and heads out the back door with a ball in her hand and walks a block down the road to her high school, Crispus Attucks. For her first year of high school, the school bell would ring and she would grab her cleats and head to the men's soccer field. Not playing on a soccer team was not an option, so she trained with the guys' team. Her motivation to play started from her father, who had played himself and taught her to play at a young age. Even when Valerie had no team to call her own and no field for a space to play on, she managed with the little resources she had.
Soccer it means a lot of stuff to me, basically. Like, it helps me relax myself. When I need to cry, I could just go outside and kick the ball and take my anger out and just hit walls without hurting myself. And soccer means a lot because when I was little, my dad left the house when we were little, and the only thing I had was basically his ball. And so ever since we started playing, and I would go to his games and see him play, and I would get scared when he would get hurt. And ever since I just started liking soccer, and soccer means a lot to me. There's not a specific word to say what it is, but it's just a lot of things.
After her mom would remarry, Valerie still remembered one very important thing about her biological father: the love for soccer. Valerie is the middle child of 2 brothers and 3 sisters.
Yes.
Valerie's mother instills strength and power in Valerie to prepare her to overcome any challenges that come her way. Valerie's mom had to fight to support her family alone for several years once her husband left when Val was just a young girl. Valerie heads outside to her backyard and spends most of her free time with a ball at her feet. She is banned from the front yard because she broke the front fence and chased too many balls into the roads. For Valerie, some may look from afar and say there's no room to play with the limited space and the surface. Yet Valerie knows it's not about how much you have or don't have, but what you're willing to make of it.
I have a park over here, but my mom doesn't let me go because I'm a female and in our neighborhood it's not that safe. But yeah, it's really difficult to play here. That's why we put the blocks on the floor so I could start playing a little, because our grass is not right. Our grass is, as you can see, it's not green or have grass. And it is difficult because I can't kick the ball hard. I can't do certain things while playing in my backyard or in front, because either the cars can hit the ball and they start complaining, and it's just really difficult to play, especially with the fence. It's really hard, but I still do it. Like over here, I kick the walls with the ball. I just start doing basic stuff by myself because my sisters don't like playing with me because I bruise them. I doubt. I don't know, but they say I bruise them and everything. I am a little rough on them. I still like playing outside with the ball, even though it's not stuff I would do in like real field. It's something better than nothing.
Even though Valerie enjoyed playing by herself and with the men's team, she wanted a team to call her own. She vowed to share soccer with her fellow female classmates so they too could experience the beautiful game. Her family watched Valerie grow up, eager to play whenever and wherever. And they believe soccer has helped shape her to be the person she is today.
Yeah, she started playing around 4 years old. I remember that. And then she loved it. She's
She's crazy.
She's hard, you know. Sometimes I think like she play like a man, and it's funny to me, but I'm sorry, Wally, it's not true.
She practice everywhere.
Everybody's happy when she playing, you know. And yeah, like she said, it's hard sometimes when you see her play with, you know, with guys, because I don't know, it's hard. Soccer is part of her life. Yeah, you know, she love it. And easy and simple, she loves soccer.
When she's on the field, she doesn't like want to be like playing around. Like she wants to be focused.
Yeah, she just focuses on that. She focuses on like she said, she doesn't like focus on the goal. She focuses on the whole team. You know, like everybody on the team must really care, because, like I said, she doesn't care about herself. She cares about others.
Valerie went around school and asked as many girls as possible to participate on the team. Once she had several girls committed to the team, she approached athletic director Christopher Hawkins to seek approval.
We texted, we posted on Snapchat. Addicts girls, join the team. We need more girls. We could practice, because I would go up to, because I have a lot of friends and I'm so social. I would go up to every girl and be like, would you like to play soccer? And they're like, I just don't know how to play soccer. And I'm like, no one knows how to play soccer. We could practice together and be good together.
Hawkins is also the head coach of the men's basketball team at Crispus Attucks, and after taking on the role as an athletic director last year, he realized that the women's sports teams were lacking at Attucks, and he wanted to change that. So he gave the girls an opportunity of a lifetime.
I think you want to be able to offer every sport, girls and boys, and make sure that, you know, there's the opportunity is there. So the more girls sports that we can have, I think it's the better, because you know, with the things that are going on in America and just things like that, the more the kids are doing something, playing sports, and not at home in the streets or trying to figure out where their next meal is coming from, the better. So you know, we want to include everybody in everything. So I'm excited where our soccer program is going, especially the girls soccer program, and you know, we'll be interested because we're going to add some more difficult games this year. So we'll be watching. You know, for them, just being able to push through and just kind of be like, hey, like, we can win games. We can do the same thing that the boys soccer team can do. Just give us a shot. And I just think, you know, putting the team together now, okay, the ball's in your court. And so basically, they go out there, they can compete, you know, the same way with the boys. And I think them being with the boys for co-ed soccer for those two or 3 years, or however long before me and before I came to Attucks, if they were still doing co-ed soccer, it's helped them develop. And then from there, it's just like, hey, I can compete, I can do this.
Indiana High School Soccer Athletic Association Commissioner Sandra Walters explains the necessary standards for high schools to form teams, and she gives her thoughts on Attucks' team.
There's always a few questions to ask when you're trying to add on to your program. You know, do we have the numbers to sustain? Because we go back to that, if I'm going to contract another school, the responsibility lies with me as the athletic director. If I contract you as a school, we'll be there. But if I'm not sure what my numbers look like because I can't get consistent numbers out, then that's problematic for me. And that I can't contract a school and then in good faith tell them we're going to be there, and then they lose a contest as a result of that. So do we have the numbers to sustain it? Do we have the financial means to sustain it? You know, and you're right in that we support a boys soccer program. We've got enough girls. We've got the interest. Let's do what we have to do in order to support a girls program. And really, then the last question is asked is our program as a whole, are we doing the best we can for student athletes? And if that is, we don't yet support a women's soccer program, then that's our next step. And I don't know that it takes being a female athletic director to see that. It's just that, are we offering enough program to support what our students want? And if our students want that program, let's do what we can to get. There's always a way, you know, there's always a way. If there's kids out there, and obviously there were, before the coach was even in place. So then you ask the question, general fund, do we have enough to support payment of a coach? and try and get that stipend together and then move forward. But good for them for that. And I know there's been a little bit of turnover with that AD's position, and sometimes that hampers things. The person in the position then says, yes, let's go forward, and then they leave the position, and you bring somebody new in, and it's difficult to kind of get the ball back rolling. And and anytime somebody new comes in, they're trying to figure out the entire program. And if that's not already in place, sometimes you will see a lag of a year or two behind, so that they get a little more comfort, and then they're like, okay, yes, this is something we need to bring on. And that's difficult for anybody coming into a new position, to kind of try to get their arms around all of it at one time. So I would hope those young ladies have a huge sense of pride in what they're doing. And we talk all the time about high school athletics, and you look at people after high school athletics and what they've become. And it's amazing how that shapes them, and it's that leadership position that they're put in. And these young ladies have not only joined a team at their high school, they've started a program. And so I would hope that each one of them has that intrinsic motivation to say, you know what, I can do this, I can do anything I want. And I hope that's their stance, I hope that's their mindset, because they can. And I would think that they feel just a bit more empowered than any other female team in their school, because they've started it. They've done something that they said they were going to do it, and then they followed through. But just like any athlete, male or female, what high school athletics gives them is that sense of commitment, that teamwork, that self-discipline. It's difficult to be an athlete, even at the high school level, when you've got to balance your athletics with your schoolwork, with your community service, with your family. It's difficult for kids these days, and I applaud anybody who goes out there and wants to represent their community that way. I think it bodes well for them in the future, long after high school athletics is over for them.
Coach Hawkins' decision to field a girls' soccer team would lead to an unforgettable year for the girls and the school. Even though the girls weren't provided with uniforms or proper training field, they were given head coach David Costa. Coach Costa was a former soccer player for Christmas Addicts and was excited to get back on his home turf.
But when I first got the job, I couldn't believe it, and I didn't know what to think, because it was going to be the first time ever I was going to be a head coach. But as the season went on, I just became very comfortable. I just put my mindset, okay, we're going to win championships, we're going to win, and that's exactly what happened. So I was very happy with everybody's participation. One of the reasons why I decided to come back here and become a coach and get offered the position was because I wanted to take my experience, what I've learned throughout the years, and apply it to pretty much anyone that wants to be inspired. And I just felt that this was like my calling. I just felt that I just needed to be here because I wanted to inspire those soccer players that were here. And I just wanted to give back ultimately.
Coach Costa led the girls on the field for their first game and first win in school history.
For our first game ever that we won, for the first time ever in the girls soccer team, I just remember just hearing people yell of happiness. I could still hear people yelling Christmas Addicts, our chant, water being thrown everywhere as always, and just like the feeling of being happy, really, just feeling happy and winning.
As the captain of the team, Valerie has to make sure she sets a good example on and off the field. In the classroom, Mrs. Salinas looks forward to Valerie's contagious, positive charisma each day in class.
See, I've known Valerie since 8th grade. That's when I began teaching here, and she was a firecracker. She still is a firecracker, don't get me wrong. I will say this, she's a sophomore now, and I'm just so impressed with how much she has improved and her focus and her goals for her life. She has so much vision, and she has her priorities in check. And at 8th grade, I was worried, and I was wondering when it was going to happen. So I'm so grateful that she really has gotten a hold. Her grades have went up so much. She's got A's and B's. She's ahead of where she needs to be as far as her credits. And I'm just really proud of her. I think she's doing a great job. But she is a natural leader, and she's one of those kids that, you kind of have to, you want her to be that leader. So you want Like with her, I don't try to control, and frankly, that's not my philosophy for teaching anyway. Mine is more of one of cooperation, but especially so with students such as Valerie, who are natural leaders, and they can use that instinctiveness, they can use that drive, and they can use it for good, or they can use it kind of to distract. But Valerie, like I said, she's come so far, and I know a lot of it has to do with soccer. She's always been outgoing and friendly, and so if she met a new girl, you want to join the soccer team? Come on, it's so much fun. And she's just very open, and she's very unique, one of a kind, friendly, outgoing, has a lot of leadership abilities, capabilities, and I can't wait to see what her future holds for her. And I know soccer has been a big contributor to that.
As the season progressed, the girls were able to make lifelong friendships and build a sense of community amongst each other. The team gave these young female athletes a sense of purpose. The field became their safe place where the girls could come and leave their worries behind. The team allowed the girls to feel empowered amongst each other and gave them a sense of pride.
But like once we had that first full team as girls, it just felt amazing finally having that first team, you know? And especially ever since that first game too. We just knew it was just gonna be a great season, you know?
It's because it was like nobody really believed in us. It was like the other schools were like,
They were like, oh, that's the easy shot.
yeah, everybody thought it was gonna be easy. But like, oh, they don't practice. They don't know what they're doing. It's probably a bunch of new girls. So it's like, but it's like all the girls on the team, they played for years. Everybody's practiced on their own. Everybody practices here. Like, even if it's just like kicking around the ball, every little thing you do like helps you get better. And like, it just becomes like important to you. It becomes important, like not like a goal, but kind of like you have a goal of succeeding, becoming better, and like proving your worth to everyone, even if it's like just important mostly to yourself. Like somebody tells me like you can do it, I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna show you how to do it. Like I'm not gonna say anything to you like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. No, I'm not gonna show you or tell you. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm gonna show you that I can. Like learning communication and leadership and stuff, those things kind of help you like in school, and they can help you like if you get a job and stuff, because you know communication is key anywhere. You're not even just on the field, in school, for help, trying to get a new job, traveling, just anywhere. So it's like it's good to work with others, so then you know, like, because you have to adapt to other people. You can't just think you're the only important thing. You gotta look, oh well, Sakura does this, so I have to learn how to work with her, and it's like Perla does that, so I gotta learn how to talk to her about this and that kind of helps you outside in the real world, not just playing a game.
When we first started the team, the boys didn't think we were really gonna do something. They just came to the game, and then they saw that we won.
And they were just here. They were there for us.
They were there every game.
But they were there for us and supported it in all our games. Like even though they thought we were gonna lose, but they were still there. And it also feels good to have people there for you, like in your good moments and your bad moments, shoulder to cry on, and like we're a group, and that's what I like.
For me, soccer actually helped me with a lot of leadership problems because I used to not speak up at all, like at all. I was super quiet back in the early days, and then like when I became co-captain with Valerie, like this year and a little bit from last year, it helped me learn to like speak up some more, because sometimes you do have to be loud, like that one practice that we had with the boys, and they wouldn't listen because we were on the girls team and they were like, oh, we don't mix. But so yeah, it helped me with a lot of leadership and stuff.
I couldn't get it through my head like, damn, we really did it. Like, I was just looking at the film, I was like, damn, we really did it. Like, damn.
I didn't even know what to think.
Like, it couldn't get through my head that we really won every single game.
On September 27th, the girls stepped on the field for their final game of the season. The girls discovered confidence and strength within themselves throughout the season and let it rush through their veins one last time. The final whistle blew, and Crispus Attucks won their 6th straight game.
But we told Coach, if we win this game, we're going to pour the whole water on you. And he's like, okay. So I think the score was 6-2. And so we won. We were crying because we didn't know we were going to do it. And I had my mom bring cupcakes. I had my mom. We were all excited. Even if we would have lost, we would have been happy. Because we won other games, obviously. It really meant a lot to us because we're the first soccer girls team undefeated. Like, not all schools can do that. And so we were happy for everybody. Some of us were crying, and we wanted to go, how to say, sectionals, or because we didn't have any. Like, our director said that since it was our first, we had less games. We had 6 games in total, and we won all of them. We wanted more. Even like the other teams, like, they didn't want to play for sectionals for their school, and we wanted to play for sectionals. We didn't care. We wanted to we wanted to play.
Well, this is a moment that I'm never going to forget in my life because it's really dear to my heart. And I remember for our last game ever when we played against Arsenal Tech and we had that undefeated season. I'm getting goosebumps while I'm speaking. I'll never forget the moment where the game just ended, when the ref just blew his whistle and he called the game over. And you could see the girls' faces just happy, just completely happy. They just started throwing water everywhere, cupcakes everywhere. So it was just an incredible feeling. You could just feel the energy of the girls just like so happy, you know. But it's not because of me that we had a good season. It was because of them, because they were the ones that put in the work. They was the ones that dedicated in training, and ultimately they were the ones that were playing. The only job that I did was really just to coach them, be an inspiration to them. And my inspiration came from a very close friend of mine and also a coach, which was my 8th grade coach. His name is Valdo. And I'll never forget what he told me. He said, Costa, we're down. We're down goals. I need you to step up your game. And this is what he told me. He said, either you want it or you don't want it. And then in my mind, I just thought about the words he said, either you want it or you don't want it. Do you want to win the game or do you want to lose the game? So you got 2 different options to say yes or no. And that's exactly what I told him too. So I took that experience that I had back in the 8th grade and I applied it to my coaching style. And they'll never forget, I always tell them, either you want it or you don't want it. Do you want to win the game? Do you want to lose the game? You got 2 different options. We're not going to tie. Either we're going to win or we're going to lose. But if we lose, we're going to play hard.
After the team's unbeaten season, Athletic Director Hawkins bought the team new jerseys. He wanted to show the girls how proud he was of their accomplishments and prove to them that the school is supporting their team. The Crispus Attucks women's soccer team started with nothing to call their own, but next fall, they will be wearing their new jerseys as they transition from junior varsity status to varsity status in hopes of continuing their success.
I really love the girls. They mean a lot to me, and especially because soccer's everything. Soccer's life.